MPP wins the seat, it would not do anything much to their numbers. If NDC wins, MPP's predicament in Parliament will remain the same. And so rather than focusing so much on this election, let them focus on how they will rebuild themselves. The current executives leading the party, they are part of the problem. And unfortunately, they are being allowed to shepherd whatever rebuilding process that they have in a manner that perpetuates their own interests. And I'm telling them that unless the MPP undertake a very drastic rebuilding process, it would be difficult for them. Their chances in future elections will still remain bleak. And so it is important that they are made to know some of these things. I'm a Democrat. I believe in multipartyism. And so you need a credible opposition that is well prepared, not an opposition that suffers threats of disintegration. Look at the letter that they wrote forgiving those who have left the party. And I said, are they serious? They left on their own volition, and then you had to write a letter to say, okay, if you have done X, Y, Z, then we are sacking you. And if you want to bring them on board, look at the way they wrote it. I've heard some of them telling them that we even left when you were in power, not when, now that you are in opposition, what do we need you for? And so it is important that the elderly in the party are brought on the fore to ensure that there is a genuine reorganization, genuine reconciliation. President Kufuor, who first initiated Ghana's Truth and Reconciliation Commission, okay, to heal us. I think he must be allowed to play. Recently, I heard that there are some decisions that were taken in the party and he was never consulted. I think he must be brought to the fore to help the party to rebuild itself so that we can have a credible opposition. Otherwise, they think they are doing something. They are risking disintegration because remember that recently that they went to pick their nomination forms. I've heard one of the leading contenders saying that the very things that they did to skew the processes in favor of one of the aspirants, they are doing that. If these things are festering now, you should note that once they also know that they have the following, if it doesn't go their way, if they don't see the processes as level and fair, they would also want to break up. And that is what I mean by the party risking disintegration if they don't do things well.
For me, looking, I'm like, what difference does this make in Parliament? All right? For MPP, what difference does it make to you in terms of your politics and calculations and going forward? Trust me, on a scale of importance in MPP, this is like 1%. Why? One extra seat in Parliament won't make much of a difference.
True.
What they have to focus on is what is going on now, the election towards their flag bearership.
The flag bearership.
All right? So put everything together, and I understand the politicals and all that they will say, but at the end of the day, okay, let this be. Has a certain character. Like you say, Akwatia is like a split place.
True.
Okay, so it can go any way.
Absolutely.
Today it goes NDC, tomorrow it will go MPP. So yes, there's a fight, but in all strategy, you have to weigh, okay, the potential significance of a particular battle. If you see a rope, a big ball of rope, there's one that if you pull, everything will unravel. There are others that if you pull, they will even tighten. And that's the kind of calculations that politicians make. So question is, it is a fight. But what is the significance of this fight in the present scheme of things? Like I said, you have a president who, by every measure, is doing a good job. Yes, it is in the first year out of 4. But he's ticking all the good boxes. You have a situation where in Akwatia, they are looking for certain things that the opposition can't give them. And at the end of the day, this is the only game in town. It is the person who will give you the development that you are going to look out and then, you know, favor. So it is a fight, but in terms of significance of this fight, it is not the kind of fight that you have to, this is not a hill you die on.
The NPP in my mind, okay, I would want to, I don't know whether they will listen. It appears that they still are not appreciating the enormity of task they have to sit back and just reorganize. They are not doing that. They are still dazed. And so they are doing things haphazardly. I mean, like he said, this is not an election that truly you want to stress yourself so much. Especially, you know, initially my view was that, oh, the NDC should just let it go.
Yes.
But later, I have changed my mind because the party says we would fight for everything. I said, okay, but they should sit down and rather than trying to throw mud about the government, appreciate what the government is doing and see how they can reorganize to have a certain message that prepares them to make them, to clean all the debts around them and position them for future elections. What they are doing is behaving like ostriches. They are not, when things are going the right way, so things are not going the right way. And as if we all don't experience, we don't go to the market, we don't appreciate what is going on. We all see. So if things are being done right, and Ghanaians can feel, and then you alone, you say, well, things are not being done right, and then you give your own negative verdict, you continue to showcase yourself to the people that you have not repented, and you have not done a roundabout U-turn, you know, about your own attitude that you projected in the lead up to the elections that delivered that heavy blow to you. And so I would urge that, look, they should really sit down and reflect and change so many of the things that they did wrong.
The Police Management Board, POMAB, upon arrival received briefing from personnel deployed earlier to maintain law and order and conduct snap checks on people moving in and out of Akwatia. The first batch of 600 officers trained at the High Risk Operation Training Center at Dramani in the Eastern region has already been deployed. An additional 2,000 officers detailed for public order management are expected to follow suit. In total, 5,000 police personnel have been scheduled for deployment to Akwatia to ensure a free, fair, transparent and violence-free elections. Already, 10 persons are in the custody of the Eastern South Police Command for possessing arms and ammunition. The Police Management Board has set up in Akwatia to streamline security arrangements. The Eastern South Police Command has also established a monitoring center with surveillance cameras installed at vantage points to provide real-time monitoring and rapid response. The constituency has further been mapped out to allow for a coordinated security response. 3 candidates are contesting the Akwatia seat. Stanley Niblew, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, certain protocols have also been defined for the polling stations, the collation center, and the so-called observers or monitors who go around from one polling station to the other. Now we have informed the EC to provide specific accreditations to the polling agents, people that will be accredited to the collation centers, the media, and the monitors or observers who will be going around to observe the elections at various polling stations and electoral areas. We want to emphasize that if you are not accredited to a polling station, you have no business at the polling station, with the exception of those legitimate voters who are going there. The police personnel will get themselves involved in community engagements to reassure the communities, the electorates, that they should not fear. They should all come out and cast their votes, exercise their rights as good citizens of this country. I want to reassure all the good people of Akwatia that they should come out in their numbers and exercise